I don't like the direction this country is going in. In fact, Britain as a whole, we are being dragged by our arms down this deep, dark, sinister path where no good can come from it, and it'll be really hard to come back from, in my opinion. Now, from what I've seen, heard, and experienced doing this YouTube thing and talking to people, etc., conflict is coming to Britain. All right, it's going to happen. No question of if, but when. The United Kingdom is going to be at war with itself. It won't be at war with China, North Korea, Iran, or any other rogue nation state, not even Russia, despite Keir Starmer's best efforts for that to happen. But this civil war will be between Brits and people who have come here and refuse to integrate. Not only that, but take over areas and declare it to belong to them. Now, yesterday, UKIP, or the United Kingdom Independent Party, they were prevented from practicing their God-given, hard-fought-for right to protest in the London borough of Tower Hamlets, and yet the Met Police gave the area instead to Muslim men, some of whom were masked up, all wearing black, looking very intimidating, brandishing weapons, flying Bangladeshi flags and screaming Allah Akbar. Now granted, not every Muslim or migrant who comes here is a terrorist or a bad guy. Some people come here, contribute, make friends, mix in, abide by the laws, and don't want us dead. Others, not so much. They come here, keep to themselves, create their own little enclaves, and preach hatred against us. They have no intention of integrating whatsoever. And that's a problem. It's a big problem, and it's going to be an even bigger problem. Now, can you imagine being a young man? You're volunteering to take up arms, to fight the Nazis for Britain, etc., all that good stuff, and you learn in 80 or 90 years' time that borough where you grew up with your mates, your family, will be taken over by a people who now say it's theirs, and native Brits aren't allowed to walk down there for fear of them kicking off and putting people in hospital, being violent, even killing people. It happens. Well, I can imagine that young man and his friends, his mates, not bothering to join up to fight the British Army because they don't like what Britain will become, Britain of today. Britons have been too accommodating and too friendly for far too long. That's because we've been told to be. Otherwise, we're racist and we're xenophobic and we're bigoted and we're full of hate. We're far right. And we'll get locked up for showing any of those signs, as people have been recently. But people have had enough. They have really had it up to here with all this multicultural, diverse nonsense because it's not working. It's a social experiment started by Tony Blair to piss off the Tories and the right wing. He admitted it. That's why he opened the floodgates to mass migration. We have tens of thousands of illegal migrants crossing the channel in their little dinghies every day, and they're not being stopped or deterred. I have never known this country to have so many protests and riots in a short space of time as any time in history. I really haven't. And it's all down to mismanaged migration. That's why people voted for Brexit, because migration was out of control, and Angela Merkel, the president of, or the Chancellor of Germany, told the EU that Britain has to take more. That was the clincher for me. That's why I voted for Brexit. We weren't in control of our own migration policies, and we should be. But some of the people who come here, they won't integrate. They've become emboldened, and they're becoming violent, and they're demanding the country bends over backwards for them. Well, that's not how it works. Because you see, some Brits might be weak, woke cowards, but it's not all of us. Most of us realise we don't have another homeland to go to. This is our home. This is our land. It's ours. We fought each other and bled into the ground for it. We built it. Not just this island, but the British Empire, the greatest and the biggest empire the world has ever known. So do you think Brits will just roll over and take what's coming? I don't think so. I know this country too well. Britain belongs to the British. It always has been. But it doesn't mean that anyone else isn't welcome. I'm telling you folks, this country is on a knife edge. The country is going to blow. A conflict is coming, and it's coming soon. And that's because Brits have been pushed into it, and people are going to find out the Brits are no pushovers. And as I've experienced during war, people are prepared to do bad things, uncivilized things, horrible things to keep their homeland. The Iraqis did it when we invaded back in 2003, and subsequent operational tours of, I think they were called Optelic, if I remember. The Viet Cong did it when the Americans joined the Vietnamese in the Vietnam War. The Afghans did it when the Russians invaded back in the 80s. And I promise you the Brits will do it. If things keep going as they are, they don't get listened to and they get pushed too far. This isn't a threat. I really don't want it to happen. I wish things would just fix themselves, but it's not going to happen. The politicians don't want that. The politicians want this conflict. And yeah, they're doing pretty much everything they can to do something that ignites it. Let's hope it doesn't. Let's hope tensions calm and people remember where they are. None of this has to happen. We need cool heads, we really do. But I fear any calm heads, any reason, will get removed by the powers that be to ensure what's to come. There we go. Sorry it's a bit gloomy, but that's that. That's my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm past 49. Thanks for watching. And until the next time, Roger Trout.